All right, let's see about making this project more better. We'll get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. This is the carburetor off my flat top fendered 770. I cooked it numerous times last night and I got everything apart except for one. Oh, there's a little, like a cricket or something. Get out of here, buddy. Leave me alone. I got everything out except for this one jet in here, and I'm thinking about just leaving it alone and seeing how it runs. It might be fine. The only other thing I can do is take the torch to it and heat it up a little bit and see if I can get it out of there. I tried to run something through every passage and it seems like everything's open, so it may not be that big a deal, and I may just try it that way because it's starting to disintegrate, and I'm afraid that if I mess with it, bad things are going to happen. So I think I decided to myself last night, and then didn't do it because I was wanting to go to bed, but I think I'm going to cook this one or two more times. I scraped around on it last night and cleaned up on it more. I cleaned up on this. I got this out of there. I don't know if that was in the last video. It was nasty, but I got it where it's open. You know, you can blow through it and air comes out these little holes on the side. But I'm going to go ahead and cook it in the dip as well. And I, of course, scraped around on things, just trying to clean it up every time you go. So now I went to town today, and much to my dismay, the place did not have the carburetor kit on hand, the one I usually go to, the Napa. So we looked around, and there was one in the county in a different store, so I had to drive to a different town and get it. But they had it, and looking on the computer there at the store, it's looking like they're getting pretty thin with being able to get them. So I have a feeling they're getting ready to shut us off on carburetors, and they're not going to let us have kits anymore. That's a shame. But this should be the one I need, and it actually comes with both size gaskets, which is handy because I should need the larger of the two, I think. We better just do some double checking before I cook it, because if this isn't it, then I'm gonna have to go to the store and try to find it again. But I think that's the gasket I need, which is good. What I was getting ready to say a minute ago is, it seems like you always have the larger gasket left over, and it'd be nice to have a spare smaller gasket, so we will now, you see. The only other thing we need to be super aware of with this is to make sure that this will thread in there, because there are different threads of these, and if you got the wrong one, woe to you, my friends, because yeah, I think this is it though, or I wouldn't be able to do it that easy. Let's turn her down. Normally there's a gasket under there, but for testing I don't have that. Yeah, so that will go just fine. So we're good there. Consequently, to get this old one of these out, it was a struggle. I don't know if that was on the video either. Sad that I can't remember things that just happened not that long ago. But it did not work well for me, I'm telling you. I used the little vice grip, and I just went to town on it. And where is it at? Oh, it started to crumble under the compression, but I finally got it where it moved a little bit, and I just kept going back and forth till I could get it to turn a little more. Kept going and going and going, and finally got her backed out of there. Ooh, I guess I should also say, this is a 755, TSX 755, and the number of the kit I'm using is this. And they actually had a different number kit, like a 2-1308, I think, that the book said that it should have, but that kit, they didn't show any of them available at all. So that was probably a more deluxe kit that had more specific pieces to what we need, and this one's a more generic kit. So where do we stand? Well, like I said, I feel like, as I'm working off camera, I feel like I'd feel better if I cooked it another couple times, because I just feel like we don't have it quite as good as it could be yet. This whole time we've been talking, I've had the heat turned on that magical cleaner, so hopefully it's heating up so that it will start out warm. But I just kind of feel like we should have it as good as we can be. And so that's what's happening. Consequently, I dropped one of those screws that's down on the bottom of that thing, so when we're finally done, we need to fish that out, because we'll need it to put the thing back together. But I'm going to put this back in there and then let her cook, and then we'll go from there. Alright, I think that's about as clean as she's going to get. So we might as well start our process of putting it back together. Dealer's choice, where we start. Well, we're going to need our kit of stuff regardless. Let's try to keep it somewhat organized here. Well, that's not it. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to find the piece in the kit that goes on this. There, I believe it's this. There's a little watch-me that's got to go on there to seal it. As this goes up in there. This is usually the point of much sadness, to get this out. And this one was no different. It put up a struggle, but several cycles of heating got it to come loose. I much prefer that than taking the torch to it. The torch is the last resort, but I have done that many times to try to save it. All right. Now, our next piece, and you know what, darn it, I forgot upstairs. Upstairs, I have some thread tape, and I don't think I have any down here. I might be wrong, but I brought a roll to bring down here to put on the pipe plug that goes on the bottom. But we can do that. We can tighten that up outside. We don't have to worry about that right now. I don't remember what size this was. Is it this size? Alright, let's go 1, 2. Let's start with 2. Hopefully that doesn't leak. It's got like an O-ring in it, which, yeah, I mean, it's possible that it will leak, but whatever. This goes in there, and we'll put some tape on it, and we'll tighten it up when we get outside. Dealer's choice. That should be the... Oh no, there's one more piece for that. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking there's one more thing. We gotta... Oh, and also the choke shaft, yeah. But as far as removable pieces, I have to very gently put this back in. There was a jet in the bottom of this deal, and I hope that that's good. I I should have probably run it through a cycle of that, but it's clean. Clean enough for what we're doing. Let's put this out of the way. It's in my way. Okay, now, what did they send me as far as this goes? They didn't send me much. Got my choke. Oh, I need to put this plate on first. This was on there, but I also need to investigate my felt situation. I don't know that I'll be able to see. That's got a, let's do it let's go about this a different way. Let's do this. Let's just do this, you know. I think that'll work. I'm not as dumb as I look. At least I don't think so, but I might be. I think it was this one. Was it this one? That one in there? No, it's not that one. Okay, come on now. There we go. One of these things is not like the other, and it's this one. Now, what we're gonna have to do with this is, here in a minute, we're gonna have to that wasn't a very good camera shot, but that spring's to open. Now we have to put the choke plate in. And of course it's slotted, so it's gonna be a tremendous trick to both see what I'm doing and try to let you watch. It's probably not going to work too well. Probably not. Ooh. Nope. Okay. Now, this is a trick. Oh, you know what, dum-dum? You viewers are probably freaking out. I have those screw starters right here that the viewer sent me. Let's see if this will get her done. Oh, I think it did. Okay, let's get the other one. I sure don't know what I got here. The screw starters are awesome. That's why I left them down here for... You see how they work? They're just things, and then when you do that, you wedge them. They're like tapered wedges, and they bypass each other and then lock it down, and then it's good to go. I do this. Sweet. That worked really good. Now, I think the entirety of this bottom half is done, so we'll set it aside for a moment. And we'll focus our efforts on this. And where do we want to start? Well, we can start with the throttle shaft. However, it's my experience that, like I've said before, that's not really what I want. I really want it where it just flops. It's a fine line between leaking and not being good, because if it doesn't, that's decent-ish, but we'll see when we put the choke plate back, or the, not choke plate in this case, but the throttle plate, butterfly, I guess is what you want to say, what I want to say. If that plate doesn't just flop, you don't have any governor action to speak of. It just doesn't work very good. Alright, should have been more prepared, but I wasn't. Come on. There's one. Let's see if that, tighten those down. Yeah, that's okay. That'll flop. Then it should work fine. Good governor response that way. Then our next affair is, I have had trouble sometimes. Well, they look similar. We don't ever throw these away, because there's been times when the new needle doesn't really, it won't work, and then you switch back to the old one and you got her made. So we will save the old one just in case that becomes a thing. Boy, she's down in there. Now we're gonna go 1.5 to start with. That should do that. Now let's put in our needle and seat. Alright. Sometimes I don't use the, which you'll see in a minute, but there's that little metal clip that pulls down on the needle valve. Sometimes you might as well just throw that over your shoulder, because it doesn't make her go right. Okay, man. Let's use the big chisel, right? Alright. Next, gasket and venturi. Now these, when you look at them, you need to inspect and make sure they're not cracked around here, because I've run into some where it looks like people have tried to force it. Because if you look at this, you see how this fits in this recessed thing really nice, and it doesn't so much this way. I've seen them where people have wedged them the wrong way, you know. See, like this, and then they try, and then they don't understand. But it's made to fit one way, so if you do it the one way, you're going to have a lot better happy life. This goes in there, and then this is where the little clip thing comes in. Maybe. It's meant to help pull that open so it doesn't stick closed. I guess because of the rubber tip or whatever that's really made of. It's probably some type of material. Usually, I guess you gotta hang them on like this. And then try to drop her down in there. Like such. Usually they come with a new pin, but this kit did not. Okay, so that means I need to hold still there, buddy. That means I need to find the old pin. Good thing I didn't lose it. This old pin and put her in there. Okay. Now we need to look at it, which the GoPro will not give you this accurately, but if you hold it and look straight on at it like this, for you it would be like this. That float should be pretty well parallel with the body of the thing, and then it's adjusted right. So yeah, there's a little measuring tape usually that comes with it, and you can measure and do all that. Or you can just do it this way that I've done 10,000 times, and it works. Then when you put her together, you have to gingerly make sure that that venturi has dropped into the correct spot. And it doesn't feel like you're forcing anything. Because if you force it, sadness will abound all the days of your life. There's that. There's that. There's that. Let's get them all started first, and then we'll wrench them down until they're just... All right. Now, the only other thing left in my bag of tricks is this fitting, which again we'll have to put some sealer on before we do it for keeps. And then I have... Ooh. Let's not forget that. Our top gasket. Ooh, it's wrong. Okay. I'm gonna have to hunt up and find a... Hopefully I have an extra top gasket, because this one was no good, was it not? Last I checked. What have I got laying around here in my spare parts pile? Is that one too big? Yes. It's much too big. Can't handle it. Okay. Well, that kind of is a bummer. But what I'll do is, I always try to keep some stuff on hand. But for now, I'm going to send the old one with it outside, because technically this one would work again. The part that you need is good. The crack is on the outside of the bolt hole, so we could get by with that if we had to. Or we could make a new one, but we also should probably get a lock washer so that those are matching. But there you have it. It is a rebuilt carburetor, TSX 755. And we'll take it outside and put it on the tractor and see what happens. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well, then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. And that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.